Eastgate. Jim Bennett, you have the floor.
Sure. Well, good to see everybody. I apologize. Back in January, when I normally give the recap of where we went and kind of our vision as we're taking this agency forward, I was had a vacation schedule. I was actually down and visiting my daughter in Charlotte after the holidays. So I apologize, but I'm glad to be with you today. Let me just start by, like I said, I'd like to have these just to kind of recap, just tout some of our successes. And really just express my thanks for this group right here. Citizens Advisory Board, very vital that we have input from the people that live in our communities and have a better understanding of what we're doing. We take the input that we get from all our committees, certainly our Technical Advisory Committee, stuff we get from our communities through the general policy, and certainly our citizens through the Citizens Advisory Board. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your input and really your patience and listening. And it's important to be part of the team. And I can tell you that if we look back on 2025, very successful year for the agency. And don't mind me, I'm going to steal some notes because I had to give this to the Finance Committee already. And then I actually spoke at the general policy back in December. But if I just look at last year, I think sometimes what gets glossed over is a little bit of the programs that we just do on an annual basis. It's really the meat and potatoes of what Eastgate's all about. And that's really the ARC, or Appalachian Region Commission program, the OPWC, which is Ohio Public Works Commission, water quality work we threw, EDA, with the representatives for the EDA in the area, transit, transportation planning, safety, GIS, and really just downright planning. I get worried sometimes when I speak, I'm talking about projects outside of that core group, but that's really what our business is all about. And we do that and we do it very well. The numbers, we get the money, we always spend it. I say, if anybody hands you money to do a project, make sure you spend it or you won't get money back. We've been very successful at the agency bringing money to our communities and being able to produce some of these projects. Ironically, one of the projects we've had some input in is the Mahoning 680, where they're actually replacing all the pavement on Mahoning 680. ODOT is from really the turnpike all the way through to about South Avenue. And I only bring that up today. That's a $125 million commitment to do that. And they're digging it all out. And anybody that's on 680, I drive it every day, will understand that it needs replaced. And they replace these pavements every 25 years, where they dig it all up and put brand new sub base and base. It's still got to be decided whether it's going to be concrete or asphalt, but great commitment, great project for our region. If you look out the windows, you can actually see 680. So we appreciate that. But I brought it up today because it went out for bid. Half of it went out for bid and came in at $55 million, which is, it was estimated to be 65. So we got our fingers crossed for cost savings, but that project will start here as soon as the weather breaks in the spring. But it's progress. And this is my 11th year doing this, 30 years at ODOT. Orange barrels are progress, in my opinion. That means you're investing in the area. We see them too often downtown, but that's not me or anybody here. But they're mostly progress where you're turning around, rebuilding what we have or putting new in. But I just was excited that we bid that out today. We didn't, ODOT bid it out today, but it reflects progress in our community. And we need that infrastructure, certainly through really comes right through the city of Youngstown. So that's a 2-year project, but half it, then the other half's going to sell the following in 2 more years. But I do want to talk 2 programs we volunteered to be more involved with is broadband and our Appalachian Community Grant Program projects. Very successful. The broadband, I've mentioned it before. We don't get funded to do broadband, but we just heard the horror stories of nobody being able to connectivity in southern Mahoney County, northern Trumbull, and southern Ashtabula counties, where there's really lack of connectivity. People taking their kids to McDonald's or Starbucks to tap into their Wi-Fi just because they don't have the access. So we successfully worked with the state of Ohio to get some monies. The commissioners in all 3 counties stepped up And I believe we're wrapping up some of the last few townships. We had 5 in Mahoning, 7 in Trumbull, and I'm not sure the exact number in Asheville, but when we're done here, we're very close to the end. All those townships will have some type of access to the internet. We might find a small pocket here or there that's almost impossible. When you look at the township, so I think we've covered it, and we're most proud of that as last year. Great effort by a lot of the group that we have as a staff. And let me just say that the staff we have is amazing. We have 16 of us total. We go many different directions, but it's all hands on deck when there's a project to deliver. And it just makes it a lot easier to be here. And it's fun. We really are friends and family, and it's just a great place to work. I love coming to work. Goofy, I'm going to keep doing this as long as it's still fun, and it's fun for me. So when I work with a group like this, but sometimes that also gets glossed over, that we really didn't have to put our foot in that water of broadband and really delivering those community projects. But we've taken the project administration on some of those, and we're delivering those projects too. When I talk to the Appalachian community projects, those are the projects along the river. Niles has done a great effort down by the river. Somebody was just showing me pictures. They'll have a ribbon cutting, I believe, on Memorial Day. A great investment along the river. Youngstown did some work over here, the B&O station. Many of the communities that receive funding are following through. We had to administer the projects. It's really reclaiming the river, and kind of leads me into, we've talked about getting the dams out of the river for a long time, and it's taken a lot longer than I wish it would, but we've been trying to drive that force. We moved them in Lowville, Struthers. I'm going to skip over to 3 in Youngstown because it's my ones that I'm having the most trouble with. We have Gerard's in focus, and we have the 2 in Warren and the Leavittsburg one come down. Despite some of the outcry, I just think that some of the outcry from the people out there, I didn't understand what was really going on, but the dam is down. We will get the 3 in Youngstown out this year. A little frustrating with the prior administration's focus, but we'll get those out in Youngstown this year.
Are those last 3?
There's Gerard,
Yeah, sure.
the monster of dams. We've been working with the Army Corps to secure, and the state of Ohio has indicated that they pay the $10 million to take that dam out of the river. We are still working to secure that funding. All the other dams, the 3 in Youngstown, are funded. We just need Youngstown to get the admin together, and we'll get those hopefully sold late this year. Probably trickle in the next year, but I'm pushing hard to try to get them this year. So we're in a lot better place. The Gerard Dam is. We knew from day one the Gerard Dam was going to be the issue. Back when we started, there was McDonald Steel over there, which had a lot of impact on us having to walk away from that right now. But we're working through that. Hopefully, 2 years from now, we'll have that one down. Then complete all of them. But we didn't hold us back from getting projects in communities along the river, whether it's a canoe launch, whether it's a pavilion, a small playground, water, kind of water park. We really try to take the rivers now that it's going to be flowing and kind of grow those cities or areas out a little bit into more of the communities. So hopefully we can find more money to do more of those projects. But we are going to have, I want to say, if you count Ashtabula, 10 ribbon cuttings on projects, and I believe 7 of them are along the river. The 3 in Ashtabula are up by the lake, but we'll deliver 10 of those projects before October 30th of this year. That's the deadline to finish it. But we're in a good place. Justin's team spent a lot more time than we thought delivering those, but we're happy to have that control and be able to celebrate that really is a victory. Just 3 other things I want to talk about 2025. And I'm sorry, I try not to be long-winded. And when I start talking, I get long-winded. Usually I sit next to Justin, he kicks me, so I'll go over. But we have a feasibility study that was just completed on a new interchange of 80 and 304. To make that connection, really that connection would be, and the drawings are on our website, that connection would be to get you to 62 and get into the east side of Youngstown. It's going to be a stretch to get that funded down the road, but you got to start somewhere. We feel, working with some of our economic development partners, that the available land over there is prime land for more future development if you have access to 80. And if we put that new interchange in, we can open it up and get you access to 80, and we think we can grow, which really is that Crab Creek corridor, then starting heading east to the PA line. That really, we just got word that ODOT approved the feasibility study, and we are moving forward with, we'll be short of funding sooner or later, but we have to document that we got the approval, that it's not, there's no red flags that we can't build it. I'm not telling you right now that's coming in 1 or 2 years, but I think it has a chance in 5. And I think that if we continue the momentum in the region, that might just line up perfectly for us as a region. And again, we're a planning organization. That's what we're asked to look at. What can we do years out to make this area better, to make it more profitable for companies that possibly can move into the area, to make it a better opportunity for housing also. So like I said, that we really was focused in 2025, but we just got word that ODOT just last week that ODOT approved where we're at to this point. We worked with the Port Authority on securing $17 million to provide access road to Kimberly Clark. I'm sure you're aware of Kimberly Clark at the old RG Steel plant. Great opportunity for this area. They're building as we speak. But when we looked at that a couple of years ago, that property was kind of like just in the middle of nowhere. To get there, you either had to go through the city of Niles or the city of Warren. We just took an aerial out, and I love this story because we had an aerial in front of us. We took a highlighter and said, you have to get to State Route 45 to Kimberly Clark. And we drew a highlighted thing, line across that area. We kept pushing for it, and we finally got funded. The state of Ohio funded. The money was appropriated to the Port Authority. Sorry. I turned that off. We got $17 million to build that access road, which should even make the remaining 400 acres more advantageous, because you can literally, once you get to 45, you could be on the turnpike in a matter of 5 minutes. And that's really what you have to be. You have to get access to the turnpike. 80 or 76 is vital to what we do here.
Plus there's about another 600 acres around there. That's-
Yeah, I said 400, but 600.
That's ours. Plus
Yeah, another 600 acres. So, and nobody wants to drive semis through downtown Warren or downtown Niles. So having this access and getting you to 45, getting you onto the freeway is really advantageous. So you can see those last 2 projects I talked about really reinforce our focus on economic development in this area. And we've really been all hands on deck trying to make things better.
That's one of the largest non-federally funded road projects that the Valley ever had.
Yeah, $17 million. I forget how many miles, and it's a new bridge over the Mahoning River and into that area.
How many lanes?
It'll probably just be 2 lanes with turn lanes at any intersection. It'll be just built for commercial trucks and commercial radiuses for those trucks. The difficulty, the access is avoiding neighborhoods and knocking houses down. So it was a little more touch and go, but they found a nice path in that will help anybody who wants to get to that area. Like I said, in the past, if anybody's driven it, you really have to go through a city downtown to get to that area. So this is really a win, and a great vision to see that coming. But like I said, I can't find enough land around 80 and 76 because that's where everybody wants to be for access. I'm going to start. We finish out 2025. We asked for state funding for a lake to river pipeline to move the natural gas from southern Ohio, Columbiana, and south up to Lake Erie. We call it along the corridor Route 11 because Route 11 is north-south. We want to put a pipeline in, 24-inch pipeline to carry the natural gas that is untapped in southern Ohio because they can't get it, they can't move it. This idea hasn't just. Yes, did you have a question? I'll keep going. If it comes up, I'll stop. I know I won't proclaim to be an expert on moving natural gas or pipelines. We got money from the state of Ohio. We hired a consultant that's experts in this. They start the study in October. We meet monthly. I just had another meeting with them the other day. It is really the A team looking at this. They said the industry is jumping up and down. They may even find the industry that will pay to build it. It's that profitable to move that gas out. I'm learning as we go. A lot of the interchanges on northern Trumbull, on 11 in northern Trumbull and southern Ashtabula don't have access, don't have good networks for electricity. It's certainly natural gas. Putting this up, they turn natural gas into electricity. It turns around. It could really be beneficial to anybody who wants to relocate to this area or start in this area. So we really working with Lake to River, Jobs Ohio initiative, our Jobs Ohio partners in the area. I kind of point to it because they're just on the 9th floor below us. But they're all for this. They're already seeing the buzz in the industry to possibly relocate here if we can put this pipeline in the ground. Rod 11, we have ODOT involved. We're trying to say, hey, can you let us sneak in there a 24-inch pipeline and the corridor's already cut? That's all to be decided. But if it's really as profitable as it's starting to appear, and we will have results by June 30th, that's the deadline. I'm sure we'll find a way to build that. I'm sure we'll find a way to build that. Like I said, the industry, the natural gas industry is lining up, offering their services to help, offering their services to build it. So more to come on that. That just started at the end of 2025, really takes us where you are into 2026. And one of our bigger initiatives now is that Lake to River pipeline and how we see it could be an economic boom for this region. And again, here we are with economic development ideas. Just want to touch on one more thing, and then just really want to take questions or hear what you guys are seeing. We've been really taking the lead on the housing initiative. We studied it, as you know. We rolled out last January the study and really the strategy. Done a lot of behind the scenes work, a lot of data to incorporate. We are moving in. I think somebody just did that.
They have to mute themselves.
Yeah. But I feel they're in a strong position to focus on housing as we speak now. Some of the small victories, and I think there'll be big victories, is we're working with townships. We went and really talked to all the townships. We wanted to see who wants development at this point, and what's the obstacles to development. Austintown Township, Gerard's trying hard, Holland's trying hard, Niles is working hard. How can we assist to get that going? So that would be kind of new developments in those areas. We're working with the Land Bank and YNDC and Trumbull Neighborhood Partnership for infill in the city of Warren and the city of Youngstown. It's pretty broad, but like I said, when we turn around and find out Austintown's stumbling block is extended water or shoreline, we're trying to teach them or show them the path through residential TIFs to make that money available, to get that going. And our focus right now, as we start early in 2026, is focusing on 3 or 4 areas that have a proven builder, developer, and just have something, what I want to say is short change because they need 3/4 of a mile of a water line or something like that, something that we can assist. I want some victories now to build the momentum and show everybody. Everybody seems to lack a little bit of infrastructure, and I'm a strong proponent for residential TIFs to raise money and to use that money to help put that infrastructure in place and then pay that back in surpluses when there's 100 housing units in that neighborhood to the township and everybody is happier. I think that's the real route in 3 of our communities right now, and we're working hard to put that on. My closing remarks, what I want to say is what I'm trying to do is focus more on what we do here, not spread us out too thin. And we're on the verge of being too thin. I'd like to have a lean group. We treat them well with benefits, offices and salaries, competitive salaries. We want to keep being lean and aggressive, and that's what we captured right now. but I don't want to get too far out there where we can't handle our normal workload. So we're focusing on kind of coming back in. What we want to do now is just try to we talked about the 4 ways we could help our townships and our villages. And I'm going to say those two because those are the smaller entities that don't have staff or money to hire consultants. We're going to go out the township and start talking to some trustees. We're talking about putting on some lunch and learns where we might offer, hey, this is how you put a residential TIF together. If you need help, we'll show you a city that it worked for. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Or if you're going to turn around, we can get into the maintenance facilities where highway workers I'm just going to make one up, Sebring don't understand how to slot pave. So we're going to open our offices up to sort of like the counties come in and hold a lunch and learn in March to talk about how to fix potholes the correct way, maybe talk about salt sharing, talk about residential TIFs. We're going to be abroad. We really want to kind of focus on training sessions, lunch and learns, and just seeing how we could help. And we had our tap today, and our message was, if there's something out there you need help with, we have the resources to bring them in here to explain that. The flyer that Grant Taylor put together about starting some safety classes is outstanding. I will tell you that Grant at our office has just absolutely excelled with training. He has really taken the safety program in this office to another level. He works closely with ODOT. We had a call with ODOT the other day. They're putting funding in for 3 safety locations in Trumbull County, Trumbull 88 and 534. 534 and I don't know which one, and then 422 and 5. 534, 80, I think it's 82. But we're proposing to build 2 roundabouts and another thing where they have a divided highway split. It's called an R cut. It would take me 15 minutes to explain that. I'm still trying to balance it. But I think the most important thing to come with that is attention on these areas that are high accident areas in our area. Safety funds is, I'll use my 30 years of ODOT experience, is the easiest money to get because the governor's initiative to fix and reduce accidents and fatalities is second to none. We've been very successful, and I really applaud Grant's leadership to get us where we need to be identified. We are looking for more locations. Anything we can do, we'll look at. And if we feel there's something from a transportation standpoint that we could get fixed or corrected through funding, we'll push it forward. We've been singled out by ODOT as really leading the effort in the state as an MPO to help with the safety program. So strong relationship, great partnership with them. Just my last comment, couldn't be more excited with the partnerships we have with the Port Authority, Lake to River, and the Chamber, all in this building, which makes it easier. Within 15 minutes, I think I visited every agency this morning. So I'm excited about where we're going as an agency. It's challenging, but we have an energized workforce here. And like I said, I started with saying I think it's fun, and I just love coming to work and love diving into this stuff. So anything I could do to answer any questions or try to explain something further, I'll gladly take it. And like I said in the beginning, also, I appreciate everybody's support we get from this group. And report outs we get attack and how we carry our agency forward. We're in a very good place. So thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
Recorded
Thank you.
for playback later.
Yeah, I know it's a lot. And most of the stuff, we have an outstanding website, as I believe this group knows. Eric's in the back. He's now solely in charge of it. We're looking to actually upgrade it so that it has more information. Maybe it's easier to navigate. But I tell you what, that's the best tool we got. And I applaud the group. Eric's in charge of it, but everybody's always plugging information in there. It really is an index of what we're doing. And when we talk about the data we've accumulated, we talk about traffic. We have many of our communities that use it, and we in our tax, we'll show them, we'll actually pull it up on the screen and say, click this thing, click this thing, click, there you are. And they're like, oh, okay, this works. So we take that serious. We take a lot of pride in it. So we're excited where we're at right now. I will tell you that we're in a great place when it comes, we're in the black as an agency. We've been very successful attracting grant money. When we get grant money, we usually decline the admin fee unless we're forced to take some. And if we do, we take the minimum because we just don't, we want to put the money into projects. One thing that's helped us over the past couple of years is some of our projects, bigger projects, especially dam projects, they gave the money up front. We were allowed to put it in a bank. We have a great fiscal officer and a great accountant intern on staff right now. We were able to attract large amounts of interest that we turned around and again, put back into projects. So we got accolades, obviously, from the state auditor on some of our book work. And, we're squeaky clean. And I tell everybody, there's no gray area with me. It's black and white. It's just really easy. I've been doing that for 41 years and I'm going to continue to do it that way. So we're very proud of where we are as an agency and the support we get from our communities and committees like this. So thanks again.
Jim, I have a couple of questions for you. First of all, I think you said that the Leavittsburg Dam is already out. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. When will this project be totally over and when can Canoe City Metro Park reopen?
Well, the three in Youngstown should start the end of this year, so we'll be able to get through that portion. I think there's a cut through when it comes to Girard Dam, but I'm not gonna say that the Girard Dam's is a stumbling block. I think you'll be able to go from Girard to Lowville and beyond here next year.
I'm talking about the Canoe City Metro Park in Leavittsburg that has the canoe and kayak launch. I'm wondering, I know that park was closed and used as a staging area for the dam removal. And my question is, when will the contractor get all of the equipment out of there? And when can the Canoe City Metro Park reopen?
I don't think we have an exact date yet. Where they're at with that project is they've really taken the dam structure itself down to the base river level. So then they're going to start the in-river work and some of the bank stabilization. So that'll take a number of months, probably through the spring. I venture to guess that by the time we get to summer, there's going to be substantial completion here.
Going to be substantial completion.
Yeah.
But I guess it's up to the Trumbull Metro Parks when they want to reopen.
Yeah, they'll have to mobilize all that equipment out of there. I think there may still be some construction activity in that area because there's also the Meadowbrook kind of sewer project that's going on in that area. So there will be trucks in that location for quite some time, but I think specific to the park, once that in-river work is completed, you should see the park facilities open back up again.
So the park could reopen as soon as this summer.
I would, without pinning down any specific timeline, I would venture to guess that it wouldn't go much longer than the summer.
And the park is important to those of us that kayak because there aren't that many public access points along the Mahoning River there. And, that would be very nice to get that reopened. And they might have to extend the boat launch because I think the river is now 30% lower post removal of the dam.
Yeah.
But that's another issue, I guess. The other thing is that it occurred to me at the last meeting that maybe Eastgate should consider a name change. What I mentioned it at the last meeting and after that, and I think the name should be changed to Eastgate Regional Planning. That's what we do, all right? And then that's 3 words instead of 5. And I think the word government, has different connotations for different people, and some people are distrustful. So, I think maybe that name should come out. But I think it would require a redesign of the logo and maybe with a map of Ohio in the logo, and then a little, you know, block on the edge that highlights Ashtabula, Trumbull, Mahoney counties on the map to show where we are. And then maybe something underneath where we would say serving Ashtabula, Trumbull, and Mahoney counties. I just think that, you know, that name, as I said, is not only shorter, but also more directly conveys what Eastgate does. And, you know, I'm not a graphic artist. I don't know exactly how that could be designed. I don't know what would fit. But, you know, I think that's just my suggestion. And maybe it's worth considering, maybe not. But, you know, anything to simplify the name and create a less bureaucratic image, I think would be helpful.
I like the comment. No, let's kick it around. It's funny because I thought you were gonna go way off and get rid of the Eastgate, because every time I say Eastgate, they think I work for Eastern Gateway and they want to know why we closed the school. You know, so, and sometimes if I don't know them well, I go, yeah, that's where I work. I just don't, but it's difficult to say all that or to write it down. That makes a lot of sense. I will say, you know, with the alignment of Jobs Ohio creating the lake to river, being the 4 counties, Ashtabula, Trumbull, Mahoney, and Columbiana, there has been some discussion from Columbiana County that they may want to join Eastgate and be part of what we do here. I've told them I don't have, you know, that ain't my decision to make. If Columbiana County approaches us with something official and in support from their officials, the commissioners, we'd consider it, and we would be open to the idea if we could talk about it. The last thing we'd do is take the money we get right now that we really kind of divide over our 3 counties, unless they're gonna make that a higher pot so we can sprinkle it down to Columbiana. The answer would be no, but I think that I'd love to see that worked out, because I think we're positioning to be the 4 counties on the eastern edge. If we can get some traction on that, I think that would be the time to change the name, because that's, I'm not just, I've been approached, and I just tell whoever brings it up to me, put it in writing and get your support from your commissioners, and we can talk about it, but I haven't had that letter hit my desk yet. But there's a lot of rumblings from last year's creation of Lake to River to incorporate. I mean, Columbiana County is closer than Ashtabula, you know, so I'd be open to that, but I like the idea. I like it's some consideration. If we ever would take on the 4th, it'd be the perfect timing. And I wouldn't be surprised at some point down the road that becomes part of us.
We need Columbiana County. It's very much a part of our region and very important for economic development. And it has the intermodal facility in Wellsville, which is very important. And of course, you know, some recreational assets, Beaver Creek State Park, most notable among them, and the North Country National Scenic Trail goes through Beaver Creek State Park. And so a lot of assets to promote to the public.
I agree.
You know, I think the intermodal is great for economic development, and that's a 3-way intermodal from barges on the Ohio River to rails and trucks.
I completely agree with you.
I have one question.
Sure.
Is anybody talking about completing the missing link on the Western Reserve Greenway down to the river? Because it stops in Lisbon. And, you know, the commissioners fought with the property owners in Washingtonville and lost. So it's going to be out on that road like forever till those homeowners or property owners all kick the bucket and it goes to their heirs. But nobody's talking about finishing that thing up.
I think Mill Creek Park just got so frustrated spending money to try to fight for it. I think Aaron Young at the park just said, I'm done.
The people in Missouri did a linear park. They took it's called the Katy Trail, and it's an old railroad line, and it runs sort of up by Kansas City, all the way to St. Charles. It goes all the way to the Mississippi River. You can't believe the tourism and it's 100 yards wide. It's a linear park, state park. Goes, we were on a tour group. There were 10 other tour groups out there the week we were there. And that goes week after week after week after week. That generates a tremendous amount of tourism money for that area of the country. And it was one guy with money and a vision that made that whole thing work. It's amazing.
You could finish it real quick if Aaron Young wasn't so stubborn about having to go through those people's yards. I live in Beaver and I know a lot of people in Green, and they are never going to sell that land. Their heirs aren't going to sell it. And Washingtonville Road, if you've ever been down Washingtonville Road,
It's straight as an arrow.
it's straight as an arrow. You could, the county has the right of way. There's no reason that can't be finished.
You could put it on the side of the
Yep.
road.
They could have that finished in, whatever, however long it would take you guys to fund and engineer it. That's all Aaron Young just being stubborn on that, to be perfectly honest with you. And I think, I agree with you. I think it's a shame that your personalities are getting involved in not finishing that, because it would be a great asset for the area.
Where do you pick that up? Leetonia isn't that the trail?
Yeah.
Right there at the train yard. You can go and ride all the way to Lisbon, but then, you're done.
You can go right down Washingtonville Road. I mean, it would take nothing to finish that trail if he would just, get on board with the fact that those homeowners are gonna fight him tooth and nail I know several of them personally. Diane Less will never sell her farm, and I don't blame her. A lot of those people, it would cut access off. They have cows. The watering would be over here, then there would be the trail in their farm. How are you gonna water your animals? So you're not gonna win that battle as long, they'll fight you tooth and nail on that forever.
I'm talking about the piece from Lisbon on down to East Liverpool. I don't know that anybody's talking about that.
I know that for a while there was a pretty cohesive committee that would get together regularly, all the way from Ashtabula through Trumbull and Mahoning and into Columbiana, where they would talk about the completion of the trail. I haven't been involved in that in some time, but I would assume that they're still pretty closely tied. The Columbiana piece, we never really had a huge role in, just because it's outside of our communities, but there were a handful of folks working on that project. I think there's actually some tunnels that are utilized as part of the trail on a section of that in Columbiana. And I think there was one section that they were really looking at to get moving. I think they actually had some preliminary design done and were looking for implementation funding. But they have the conceptual plans to take that all the way to the river and link up with a trail that's just over the border in Pennsylvania.
Sorry, I didn't mean to blindside you. I just wondered if
No,
you had heard
no,
anything
I
about it.
wrote down, I'm gonna look into that project's so old in Washingtonville, where I remember I was at ODOT when they were still trying to get that through. So maybe we could resurrect it and get that connection going, just try to talk some sense.
I think that's a wonderful, I mean, if you can't beat them, join them. Just put it down the side of the road.
Yeah, I mean, you could easily do it. There's plenty of right of way there. There's very few houses that would actually be impacted. There's only about 4 houses that I think in a couple of the intersections. I can't remember Washingtonville and one of the other roads there where there's a couple houses there, but you could easily, instead of just widening one side, sort of widen out the intersection and sort of split the distance to put the trail in. But it would not be difficult to do that. But you're gonna have to get Aaron.
I swear there were,
Get on
many
board
years
with it.
ago, Rich, there was drawings for that. I'm telling you, I think there were.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, a couple of points. Washingtonville Road is good for cyclists because it has very low traffic. I think if you look on your website, it's 850 vehicles every 24 hours. It's really minimal. The problem is it's fast traffic going 55 miles an hour. But I've cycled on Washingtonville Road a lot, and I find that it's nice out there.
It's pretty country.
And yes, and the hill coming out of Washingtonville and going
yeah.
north really is not a bad hill to go up. I mean, if you use Lisbon Road is a lot steeper if you're northbound. I was wondering about the connection from Lisbon down to either East Liverpool or Wellsville. I wonder if one of the holdups on that project is that they need to build from scratch a long trestle over a valley. Is that part of it?
Not aware of that.
I think there's some major cost issues there south of Lisbon, but this is what I've heard. I'm not sure. Have you actually seen the proposed route from Lisbon down to East Liverpool on a map?
Maybe at one point, but it's been, I think, too long.
Was there a trestle that had to be built along there to replace an old railroad trestle?
Nothing comes to mind, but it's certainly possible.
And you do have an old railroad bed that goes, let's see, along the North Fork of Beaver Creek, and then it's on the Vaudry land, but it's all posted no trespassing. The tubs, you know, those the rock formations with the water-formed holes in them, where the North and Main Forks of Beaver Creek join. That's all posted now, no trespassing. There no more passes, nothing. So Vaudrys are definitely wanting to keep everybody out of there, and I don't know if there's any way to change Attorney Jackman Vaudry's mind about that. But there is an abandoned railroad bed that runs a good distance down along there on his property, and part of it is actually public in the Sheepskin Hollow State Nature Preserve. But once you hit his property, it says no trespassing. But that's another potential. I think that would be a separate bike trail if you could ever get it. But you know, there's a lot of recreational assets down there, and I forgot Guilford Lake State Park. That's another one.
Well, that's what the Greenway's built on, is an old railroad bed. I mean, and there's even that National Association, Rails and Trails Association. They actively work, you know, just even if you can't get a trail built there, bank that old rail line and put it aside so nobody else comes in and chops it all up, and then you'll never get it.
The Missouri example is very good, and actually, if you look at travel brochures on cycling tours nationally, it's featured by a lot of companies that sponsor week-long cycling tours.
I go on.
that
My
include-
wife and I go on. We're old people. We're usually the oldest ones in the group. We go on those things. I mean, it's, you don't get 20 people paying $3,000 a piece just to go for a week. Oh,
And they stay in bed and breakfast along.
Oh, yeah, it's wonderful.
What's the name of that greenway that you talked about?
Western Reserve.
No, Katy in Missouri.
Oh, Katy, Missouri. Katy
Katy.
Trail, K-A-T-Y.
K-E-T-Y.
K-A-T-Y. It's an acronym for the railroad. I think it was the Katy Railroad that ran it.
Thank
If I could give you a safety intersection, 164 and Garfield Road in Southern Mahoning. If you go out 164, you make that right where Garfield intersects, it dips down, makes a big turn and goes uphill. There's a giant hill there. You cannot see the traffic. If you're on Garfield, you cannot see the traffic coming from the left. That hill should be pulled back a
Cut
lot.
back. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. That's what we need. One of our offices, the door has a list. We started with locations, and if somebody comes up with one, so I'll be adding
I think
that.
if you look, there've been several, if not fatalities, very severe accidents there
Yeah.
over the years.
It's unfortunate. You need fatalities or severe accidents to get the money, but again, that's what we're trying to do. So no, I appreciate it. That's great. I'm making notes here. I'll follow through on all this. Yes.
Have you guys ever looked, now that the turnpike is toll free from basically Newton Falls down to the state line?
Yeah.
Have they ever looked at incorporating that 680 southbound where you get off in Beaver Township where the new interchange is? If you want to go on to the turnpike northbound, you can't. There's only one. If you take 680 south out of Mahoning, out of Boardman, you can only go into Pennsylvania. You can't, the only way to get on, if you want to pick up the turnpike, then is to drive over like Western Reserve Road, cut up Market Street and get on in North Lima.
Yeah.
And that intersection with the truck stops out there is getting to be super congested. And putting Columbiana would be great because the development in northern Columbiana County, the city of Columbiana, when they did the property tax abatement, has boomed. I live in Beaver and it's hopped over us and gone right into Columbiana.
We actually, there's a panel discussion tomorrow morning, and the city manager from Columbiana County is coming up to talk about the successes they've had in the city of Columbia, yes. Yeah, I agree. I did, it did be up to the turnpike to reroute that differently, but I think that, and we could bring that up, but I think we should look at that intersection where you get on and know exactly where you're at on Market Street with all the trucks out there and how to enter onto.
Well, somebody had told me that when you get off the turnpike, they had looked at going behind the west, the ones on the west side of Market Street. On the west, you know, you've got the, I think you've got the, like the Davis Motel and the Pilot. There's the one that they just wrecked. That they, instead of going back onto Market Street, they want to put an access road behind all that would then come out at a, you know, where they could make a left and come out an intersection with a light. So that you're not coming on. The biggest problem you have is they're coming off the turnpike, getting onto Market Street. And then they have, if they want to go into, if they're contracted or whatever with Love's and Speedway, they're cutting across traffic and getting in there. It's not a real safe, it's not a safe situation. There's been a lot of development there the last 5 or 10 years.
I'll reach out to the director of Turnpike's, a friend of mine, Farzan Ahmed, and I'll see if he'll take a look at it, see if they got anything going on out there. So appreciate that comment.
Briefly on housing, is your work on housing, are you trying to get new market rate housing into this area, or are you looking at affordable housing for poor people, or both?
I think we're looking from, if you put a scale 1 to 10, I think we're looking at all ends. We're trying to get affordable housing. We're trying to jumpstart some programs that may be able to help people with home repairs. I can tell you, we're not trying to build $1 million homes, but we are looking at, I think the focus is really on, like, if, again, using that scale, 3 to 7, mid-range, trying to help everybody. We're new to this. We're trying to follow our study, but we're trying to dive in to see what communities need help and what we can do to help the communities.
Obviously, you're up against a lot of these suburbs that have all kinds of residential restrictions, like minimum lot sizes, minimum house sizes, all these zoning rules that work against affordable housing. I think you might be running into a brick wall in some of those areas.
And that's a great comment. We are trying to work with zoning inspectors from the different townships and communities to try to help update some of the regulations if they want help getting them updated. Some of the problems, some of the communities do. I think when you look at just frankly, when you look at a lot of these townships, they don't have the staff or the wherewithal to make any changes or updates. City of Youngstown's a perfect example. I think for YNDC, they have to get a zoning change for setback every time they put another house up, because since the neighborhoods were built, the setback was, say, 25 feet. Now the setback's been changed 25 years ago to 35 feet. So every time they put a house in, unless they get a zoning change or get the permit through, they would be offsetting the other houses when they're infill on those streets. So we look to have one of our lunch and learns or webinar really talking about zoning and permitting to communities. And again, we ain't gonna force it on anybody. If somebody doesn't want to hear about it, that's fine. But we really want to just get the momentum with the communities that need the help. And I think some of them don't know what they don't know. So if we could bring in some expertise to kind of just run for half a day, just talking about how we can do that. We actually have a gentleman that's in the consulting industry. And then we've met people through the last year that have a better understanding. We want to hold like a half-day seminar in the spring to invite our communities in to see if they need help. And then if they do need help, where to get the right help. And if we can get some type of retainer to have a consultant on board to assist any of the communities, I think that would be the way to go.
Surprisingly, the market's there. Market.
Yep, Warren, Ohio came into play 1965 when they built GM Lordstown.
Sure.
And lost all the, or at least the majority of the people that came in transient to work at GM Lordstown moved to Austintown because Warren never thought about building any houses.
Yeah.
And so now they're gone. Foxconn's there, not talking about what they're going to be doing. which means something big's gonna, the biggest facilitator on the planet, sitting in 6 million square feet of space.
Yeah.
And we don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah, I share that, like, what the heck, I thought by now we'd have something going on.
I think the best secret keepers on the planet are Taiwanese people, and
Yeah.
they're not talking.
Right.
So, but when they start talking and Warren's still twiddling their thumbs, it's gonna happen again. There's no houses to speak of. I mean, Warren's got a shortage of houses, and Trumbull Neighborhood Partners is doing a great job tearing down houses.
Yeah,
And they build a few, and they're nice houses, but we need a lot of houses.
I agree with that comment. I will tell you that Warren's been active in trying to get involved and asking for help. So they see it too. I know that there was people trying to build that Warren Peninsula, which I think would be a great project. It just didn't, the money isn't there yet. That would start spurring some development, but you're exactly
Incredible.
right.
Incredibly slow.
Yeah.
Since
It's a peninsula project. You just think, give me a stick of dynamite. Let's blow something up. Let's get it moving.
it's like they need to one nudge when we get the whole thing going. But
Agreed.
everyone's waiting for the shovel to go.
They're gonna build that pedestrian bridge over the river.
Well, that's coming.
That's coming.
We got the money for
That's the only
that.
one there's a lot of high-end people trying to push that through. They didn't get the money they thought when they were gonna get a year and a half ago. They asked for.
We got a
30.
bridge instead, yeah. Well, we're happy for, take a bridge.
Yeah, so I'm hoping
We want a house.
someday,
We want a bridge.
we just,
We got a bridge to nowhere. We got a bridge to the bike shop.
it's probably gonna get knocked down, but.
No, the bike shop stays.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, Warren's active. We're looking at the, what's the other side of diagonal from the Peninsula Garden? The Garden District. Yeah, we're having some preliminary discussions with our team about that area.
But again, that's a few houses.
Agree with that?
Yeah.
Are you talking to 717 about any of that?
717's on,
Read you.
yeah,
They had money hanging out of their pocket.
yeah, they're on the, Chamber has a housing consortium group and they're involved and they're getting involved with us too. I agree with you. That's infill housing and that needs too, but you need the bigger developments.
Like 1,000 houses. I mean, they need a lot of houses.
And we were trying to target developments to put 100 houses up, and it's easy for us in Osstown that's probably gonna be the first one that goes because that Joe Co construction, he's already got land and everything. So, but we need more of that in other areas. And I know that Alta Belly's looking to do a lot of stuff in Girard and the Niles, and we got to just keep, I think, again, I said it earlier, once we get this going, I think you're gonna see it take off a little bit. We have people that want to invest in the area from Cleveland and some local investors, and we just got to kind of marry them with some of the developers. Because I think too many developers are waiting for the state to hand them money and it's not coming.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, I love the conversation. Thank you. Yeah, the only thing I did mention, Kevin, I appreciate what you do leading this effort here too. If nobody's any questions, I got my grandbabies in from Columbus. I'm gonna go home. If you don't mind, we're watching them till Sunday, so they're gonna wait up for me, I told them. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna sneak out. I'm sorry, I appreciate what you do, but they're in town and I want to go see them and they're waiting up for me. So they're 2 and 4, so they're still, it's a lot of fun. But I appreciate this group. I love the questions. We always appreciate your questions. You always have them for me. I will look up this stuff and I'll come to give you a quick report when I have the next meeting in March. But thank you, everybody. Thanks for what you do. Thanks for coming out.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We wanted to accommodate this schedule. We have a couple new members. New members want to say a little bit about themselves. Introduce yourselves to our group.
My name's Greg Toom. I was just elected as council at large in Warren. So I started, January 1st, first time in politics. And I spent my whole career in the manufacturing side of the wristwatch business. So I thought that it couldn't hurt to have a guy with a business background on city council. The voters must have agreed with me.
Welcome to our group.
Thank you.
Justin, you want to go over what happened today at the TAC?
Yeah, pretty short agenda for our technical advisory committee meeting earlier today. You'll see 2 bullet points in the agenda. There's a third late addition, but just to go over those real quickly. The first one is the announcement of Ohio Loves Transit Week. This is a celebration put on by the state of Ohio every year. And I will take you to our website real quick. Under the news section, you'll see, oh, you might have to go to all news because it bounced a little bit. There it is. Ohio Loves Transit Week. And I'll put a link to this in the meeting summary. In partnership with WRTA, we have a program called Go Ohio Commute. What this program is a commuter assistance platform originally designed to help people find carpool partners. So it's kind of a matchmaking service where you can go on, put in your starting and your end location, and it'll give you options with other people that are going a similar direction, that you're able to message with them, figure out if carpooling together is going to work. And, you know, we see a lot of activity on this site when gas prices tend to go up, or when people just get sick of taking that drive alone. We see a little bit more active use of it. And in the time that we've had this site, back in the day, it used to be called Rideshare Ohio. There was a second service called Ohio Rideshare, and it split the state. Basically, Northeast Ohio had a platform, and then the rest of the state had a platform. We partnered with NOACA, who is the Cleveland MPO, and AMATS, who's the Akron MPO, for our platform. The other MPOs of the state partnered together for theirs, and they were separate for no discernible reason. So several years ago, we all got together, said, we got to stop this nonsense. Let's all go in together, make one platform for the whole state of Ohio. So we created Go Ohio Commute as the successor to that, found a new service provider for the service. So it's modern, it looks a little bit different, is a little bit more user-friendly. But what came with that was that it grew to being more than just carpooling. It now has best directions using Google Maps integration for bike routes. So if you bike to work, if you walk to work, you can get routing information that way. And you can actually meet up with people to bike pool or walk pool if you want. There is transit integration. So we are able to pull into URTA's routing information into the service, and it'll give you transit directions, including some times to catch your ride. So this particular challenge, we run these a couple times a year, is focused on transit because of Transit Week. And basically, if you are a transit user, you create an account on Go Ohio Commute, and you log your transit rides to work, you could be entered into win raffles. We were lucky enough to get some funding from a local foundation to be able to make some gift cards available as an incentive to participate in the program. But like I said, I'll include a link to this and you can check out Go Ohio Commute and see if it's something that works for you. You could even demo the site without creating a login. If you're just kind of curious to see how it works, you can put in your start and end location and it'll kind of pop you up with an example of how the platform works. But kind of a cool site. We get some fun utility out of it. And I think in April, I'll have Trisha come in and we'll run a demo of the site because we'll be starting another challenge in the month of May. So more to come on that. The second conversation at TAC was about this flyer here, and Jim kind of alluded to it. These are going to be some transportation safety focused webinars. So Grant's put together kind of a listing of these programs that he's going to roll out throughout the year. A lot of them are going to focus on infrastructure interventions that can be useful in certain locations that have safety issues. He'll talk about safety funding at some of these. He'll go through our safety data and how to make use of it and help make decisions for infrastructure investments. This first one is really a kickoff introductory explainer for the whole series. So he'll give some basic information at this first one. He's thinking about 30 minutes of presentation and then 30 minutes just for conversation back and forth. So if you have safety questions, if you've got particular areas that you think or you've come across that seem like a safety concern, feel free to bring them to this first session and have a conversation with Grant. This is really the first of its kind that we've really explored with this type of format for engaging. So it'll be fun to see how this rolls out. He's got a list of ideas that he has for future events, but certainly nothing's fixed. And if some good ideas come up, we'll make sure we slot those in terms of topics for his future presentations. In the last presentation at our technical advisory committee meeting today was about the Warren Live Zone project. May have heard about Live Zone from a few years ago. That was focused on kind of industrial development, utility coordination, things of that nature. This time around, the city of Warren and Trumbull County engineers went in together with Eastgate's assistance to apply for a planning grant through the U.S. Economic Development Administration. We were lucky enough to get funded. It was a $150,000 project funded 50-50 from EDA. Eastgate took some of our funding that we received from the GM settlement to match that. So the local communities put no money into this project. And what came out of it was a final economic development focused report for the city of Warren and Trumbull County, looking primarily at upcoming investments, namely Kimberly-Clark and the West Warren development sites, to identify critical infrastructure upgrades that can both support those projects and then also spur additional development as we know those come online and there's more activity there. So you're looking at how do we best make kind of site selectors pay attention to these areas, right? So there's already confirmed investment and activity from other development projects happening in those areas. How do we make sure we're attracting interest in an appropriate way so that we're not taxing our utilities, we're not taxing our city services, and what upgrades to our existing infrastructure need to be made so that additional projects that come into those locations can be done in a cost-effective and efficient manner. So that report's not final yet. I know it's going to go to Warren City Council and the Trumbull County Commissioners here in the next month or so. Once those two groups get to see it, we'll have Krista in here to give a run through to this group and show off kind of the final product that was produced there. But kind of got a little preview and update on that project at our TAC meeting earlier. And that was it.
Thank you. When's our annual meeting?
So good question. For those of you that are aware, for the last 7 years, I believe, we've had an annual meeting. Jim kind of alluded to us focusing more on technical trainings and educational opportunities this year. As of now, our approach is to not do a big annual meeting and to instead focus on smaller, more focused events. So taking a lot of our staff energy and coordinating those smaller events that happen more frequently throughout the year. And we think that kind of diverting these sponsorships from one big event to multiple smaller ones will allow us to do things a little bit more in depth, bring in some higher quality speakers throughout the course of the year rather than just 1 or 2 speakers at that major event. And it will be a big relief on the staff that plans that event because considerable amount of time goes into focusing on that and making sure everything goes off without a hitch, even though that is a fool's errand with major event planning. So short answer is, as of now, it's looking like we probably won't have an annual event this year, but those resources will be kind of spread out.
Because we have a whole March in planning for the meetings. We don't have anything going on March.
Yeah, so March is our general policy board, so we'll take a break from this group in March, come back in April. Our annual meeting was typically in May, so we did have some meeting duplication there, but
When we get to that later on, you know, whoever our board representatives are, they have to communicate with Justin, see what our presentation.
I am noticing on the agenda, somehow I have June as our next general policy board meeting. That's not correct.
March.
Yeah,
There is one in June.
Genevieve told me that was wrong. So no offense.
The 2nd of March.
March is right.
Well, we will have one in June.
we will.
Have one in March.
Justin, our discussion board actions, for our leadership positions, that's something.
Yeah, so I'll run through this real quick. So just as a kind of update, we added 2 more members to our board after the last meeting, Genevieve and Greg, so welcome back.
Thank you.
A mere clerical error.
No worries. So this is our standing board as of now. You know, we don't take this too seriously. We're pretty flexible and open kind of structure here. So if anybody else missed the boat and is interested, I haven't received any more submissions through our application. We'll probably cut this off, you know, at some point, March, April-ish, and close that submission portal just for 2026 sake. And then we'll reopen it in the fall for 2027. But as of now, this is the decision makers for the CAB this year. So thank you all. And then following up on board leadership, we've got the results in. So thank you all for responding very quickly to this and getting these responses back. So Kevin, congratulations. You'll be leading the crew for another year. Vice Chair, you know, Ron Masula's on call. So Ron, congratulations for stepping up as our Vice Chair for this year. And then for our policy board representatives, you'll see the 2 there. And then we also have 2 alternates. So Genevieve, thanks again. You're up for another year. And Rich, appreciate you putting in for that. I'll kind of get with you guys and let you know how that all works. Essentially, you know, we have a policy board meeting quarterly. So 4 meetings a year. As our representatives, you are the voice for this committee. So you'll get the chance when any resolutions or votes go to the full general policy board. That'll typically come from Lisa, who is our office administrator. You'll get the chance to weigh in and cast the vote on behalf of this group. And then our alternates, in the event that Genevieve or Rich can't make a meeting, I'll call on our alternates to see if you're available to step in and hold down the fort. Really at the meetings, the biggest role is to deliver our quarterly update as the CAB. I put that report together, send it over. Pretty routine and easy stuff. It's just a summary of kind of what we talked about in the times that we met for that quarter. So pretty simple stuff. Yeah.
Just a quick question. Is there anybody from Ashtabula at all on any of these boards?
So we currently don't have membership of the CAB from anybody from Ashtabula. In the past, we have. I think it was before COVID. I think COVID kind of played a little bit with our membership and who was participating. At the start of COVID, our participation like drastically increased. I don't know if people were just really excited about virtual meetings up front and then really got tired of it by the end.
And disappeared.
Yeah, and so, and I mean, you can go back through the data of CAB participation and membership, and it is truly an up and down kind of wave. So, you know, we have our periods where membership and participation grows, and we have it where it retracts and shrinks a little bit, and we tend to kind of play this accordion game. But yeah, as of now, nobody from Ashtabula, but certainly open to it. I know, you know, obviously the virtual makes it a little bit easier, but coming down, you know, to Youngstown is quite a trip for them for a meeting. So.
All right, we have a couple recurring resolutions.
Yeah, so on the agenda, and I apologize, when I sent out the updated meeting reminder today, I included the old file that didn't have the actual resolutions attached. If you grabbed a packet from the table, they are in there. And for the voting members, I have an email queued up for after this meeting to send out. Both of these resolutions will be attached. So for any new folks that are new to resolutions, I believe these are the first ones this year. Resolutions are kind of how our board makes decisions and takes actions. So these types of documents will come through this committee pretty regularly. This committee is advisory. So when you look and review these resolutions and make a decision on whether or not you recommend approval or not approving, or if you wish to abstain for any reason, that collective decision at the Citizens Advisory Board gets communicated to our General Policy Board as a recommendation to take this action on this particular issue. So that's kind of the structure, how these work. The two that you see today are very procedural. These involve our Transportation Improvement Program, which is our infrastructure funding mechanism on our transportation side. So we'll have, I believe in April, Joey Kemp, who's our TIP manager, come in to explain that whole process. He understands it to a degree farther than I do. It's not something I've personally worked a whole lot with in my time here. But essentially, these two resolutions are initiated by ODOT as part of their process. You'll see some projects listed that these resolutions impact. What had happened is that as ODOT is going through their project development process and identifying funding, they applied new funding sources to a specific phase of these projects. For many of them, they're no longer utilizing one of the other federal funding sources and instead using state safety funding for the preliminary engineering phase. So anytime funding changes happen on a project that's going through our office, we have to initiate a resolution to adopt that change formally. And that's kind of how this presents. So you'll see these pretty regularly. This is a normal thing that happens, whereas they're working out the fine grained details of how to get a project across the finish line. They're shuffling funding around and putting projects into different pots. So these two resolutions both deal with that. You'll see a number of projects there in there, but yeah, pretty routine resolutions this month.
We got the letter to America.
So yes, I had sent out to the board members a draft letter to Mayor Kyle. I will bring that up real briefly. There were a few small changes suggested for the wording. Some eagle-eye reviewers that I really appreciate caught a few things that were just worded a little funny. And as I kind of went back through and reread, I agreed. So I did make a few small changes, and I believe it is ready to send out now. I'll send that out after this meeting, but did want to give everyone a chance to just take a look.
I did not get that email. They emailed it out.
You may have not technically been a board member at that point.
Oh, I see.
Jeez, yeah, that clerical issue.
Yeah, I know. Okay. You're right.
We haven't even talked about dues yet.
Cookie, you have the same cookie.
So this might be small for some of you, and for those of you on that side of the room, it's way over here. But essentially, the letter just wishes our best to him in his recovery, as well as his family, and then just make some comments as to, his participation with this committee, and kind of our support, our willingness to, welcome him back when he's ready, if time comes to it. So, we'll make sure this letter gets his way, and he knows that this group's thinking about him. And for those of you that aren't aware, Mayor Kyle, Mayor of Hubbard, was in a car crash when he was on vacation with his family, I believe, in the Bahamas.
In the Bahamas, yeah.
He was flighted back to Miami and has some critical injuries. I believe his family is back home. He may still be down in Florida, I believe. But yeah, tough situation, but wish all the best.
Next, Nikki, you want to give a little presentation on your survey?
Or just very quickly, I work with Economic Action Group downstairs. We're a not-for-profit, and right now that survey is a opinion-based 4-question survey. And what you put on there will help to influence a new mural that we're working on in the area. Interested in continuing to be part of the decision-making process beyond just this, put your contact information on there. Then when we get to the next step, such as selecting the location of this mural or which images you like best or whatever those levels are, we'll reach out to you for that. Really, we're looking for they're very kind of touchy-feely questions. When you think of Youngstown, what do you think of? And we're going to use those to inform the kind of images we use to help brighten some space. And then we're also going to use this data in possibly future endeavors too. So there are no wrong answers. It's just whatever you think of. I've given everyone a print image. If you are more interested in doing stuff on your phone, I have QR code versions too. If you're that kind of person, I'm a pen kind of person. So I made some of everything. That's all.
So how do we get these?
If you don't want to fill them out right now, which is totally fine, you can even bring them back to me here next month.
Okay.
If you ever come by this building for other reasons, you can leave them up front, something like that is okay. It'll be an ongoing collection of information. We are hoping to complete the first mural to be part of the America 250. We'd like to have the ribbon cutting for it in July 4th. But as I mentioned, we're gonna retain this data that you give us so that when we get opportunities to do further public artworks, we're trying really hard to just make sure that we get responses from everybody. If you can think of anybody else who would be interested in doing such a thing, I would love more responses. I just really like making sure that it's open to everybody. This should be a reflection of all of us. Yeah, that's your thing. Yeah, I've seen it. I like it too. Yeah, it won't be like that.
No sleeping giant.
It's not gonna be this guy, no, unless you fill in that when you think of Youngstown, I think of sleeping giant. Probably not gonna appear.
Yeah.
Yeah, next month's meeting.
Yes. Okay.
You ever seen it?
Yes.
You know it.
I know it.
You ever seen it?
All right, anybody else have any comments? Oh, by the way, probably not next meeting, but one of our next upcoming meetings, we're gonna probably discuss economic action group that Nikki's a part of. And they're a support group for cities, some of the municipalities, townships. Also the economic development organizations up and down the elevators and the building next door. So I think we'll have a presentation of what they do, and that will help the art a lot of us. So get back. Any other comments, questions? All right, with that in mind, we are here. See everybody April 2nd.
Oh, yeah, there.
When is the next meeting?
April.
Because we have a general policy on that.
Oh, okay.
So.
Okay.